again. Welcome back to my space. Gosh, it feels like forever since I've actually sat down to do a proper video, and that's because this month of December, man, it's not playing at all. Like, it's been full of different activities back to back. Well, we're not complaining. We thank God for life, for good health, for sound mind, and compliments of the season to everyone watching me. So today, very quickly, I'll be talking about my experience working in Malta, um, your rights, knowing what to expect, and even if you are in the process of seeking employment, then you would also find this video useful in terms of applying for jobs. Okay, so stay till the end. Before I proceed, I would just like to say this: please beware of scammers, guys. Like, there are people out there looking for how to devour your finances. I mean, please be careful, especially if you are from Nigeria or a few other places around the world. I've been getting lots of messages, and some people, if you have been scammed, if you have, you're still in the process of maybe speaking with an agency and looking, as a mere looking at it, you would potentially see that this ones would be scammed. I mean, this is real, not real, this is fake. Okay, in fact, I'll just be looking at I'll just be there. Some A few people like sent this particular let's say poster to me about people advertising jobs from Nigeria or something. I'll just be reading. I won't say the name of the company. I mean, but and I would not, of course, talk about whoever sent it to me, but I would just be reading out a few things that already screams that this is scam. Okay, so first of all, it says, oh, Malta package, and then it says blah 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 companies help. I don't want to read out details, right? So I can see here the kind of positions available: skilled and unskilled laborers, engineers, administrative professionals, accountants, hoteliers, yeah, teachers, and the list goes on. Salary that you'd expect to be paid 1,500 to between 1,500 to 3,500 euros. Really, indeed, to get between 1,500, let me even not say 1,500, like three up to 3,500 euros a month, 40 hours work week, and in these professions, I see. That's what I would say, right? And then it goes on to say, oh, okay, the visa they'll be giving you is for 3 years. And in fact, it said the minimum requirement is SSC. For those who do not know, SSC, it's a Nigerian qualification that you get after secondary school. O levels, really. So as an O level, you get a job, this kind of job, as an administrator, an accountant, a professional, and engineer. Wow, really? In fact, it even mentioned here that accommodation will be provided by the company. Wow. Please, guys, do not fall for this. Like, no matter what they say, even though they promise you heaven and earth, the way it works, I'll explain in another video about how it works, like applying for a work permit and all of that, how it works in Malta. You can get this job yourself. All you just need to do is search, as in, I mean, just be on the lookout for jobs. I know a couple of people who have chatted me who are like they've been searching for jobs and eventually found jobs, even like unskilled workers, laborers, and the rest. So just search for these jobs yourself. When you search for the job, the company would be the one to apply for the work permits, especially if you're not in Malta yet. They will apply for the work permits on your behalf, and then once it gets approved, the rest is history. So do not believe anyone, because I do not know how they will get these jobs that they're promising with even an O level set. Although Malta is really not big on certification, but it is for sure fake. In fact, this is not the only one. Like I said, I've been seeing a whole lot of packages. In fact, some of them will even say, oh, they'll take care of relocation and the rest. And then you have to pay. By the way, for you to get this, you have to pay like a huge sum. So do not waste your hard-earned money, please. Apply the right way and you'll find a job. So first of all, I would start by saying, for you to even apply for these jobs, all you just need to do is search online. If you're a professional, I believe every professional will have a LinkedIn account. I mean, LinkedIn, for my husband, for example, that was how he even got his job, and a lot of other people got contacted via LinkedIn. In fact, he did not even have to apply, like they'll just reach out to you. So on your LinkedIn profile, indicate that you are open, of course, open to jobs, and then also change your location to Malta. I mean, it helps with the algorithm and all of that. And also your CV, because I mean, before any employer even sees you or gets to meet with you, your CV has to be on point. I mean, your CV has to be on point. I remember when I used to be in Nigeria, when I used to work and interview people to join the team then in Nigeria, like when you see some people's CVs, you'll be like, what? How on earth will you actually submit this kind of CV with your full chest? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So your CV has to be like, go ahead to speak for you. It has to be very presentable. You should not be using very funny fonts, and it should not be looking crappy. It should be well aligned. I mean, come on, it is. You can even get templates online. And speaking about CV, a format that you could use is Europass. So this is a website here. So you just go on Europass and create your own CV with their templates. Europass is like the CV that is used is used across Europe, not just Malta. You might have your existing CV, which is okay, but I mean, just in case you want to build a new CV to suit this environment, you could use Europass or even anyone that you might have. So far, it is well aligned. It looks very good. I mean, your experiences are detailed, your education. I mean, everything has to just make sense, before any employer would even say, okay, let me actually reach out to this person. And also go on this website, try and build your own CV. And yeah, because if you find jobs, that's going to send your CV or your cover letter, and then you're sending rubbish. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry for using that word. Okay, so build a very good CV. Your LinkedIn profile has to be on point, especially if you're a professional. Your network, I mean, you just keep adding people, especially people within your network, recruiters and the rest, and people will just reach out to you. There are different career job portals where you could find apply for jobs a lot. So just basically apply for the jobs, and hopefully with God on your side, you would get that job. I mean, there was someone that reached out to me recently. I think he's he's an electrician or so. He got a job. I mean, he applied for jobs online and he got a job. So you do not even have to be like, oh, an IT professional, like I used to say, or someone in the medical line. Just take the step of it and keep applying actually. And because they're always on the lookout for, especially artisans, in Malta here. Okay, that's it about applying for jobs if you do not have a job already in Malta. Like I said, I'll talk about my thoughts on working in Malta. I mean, it's been a very good experience working in Malta. I've worked for how many firms now? Actually, just two. Just two firms. And oh my God, the first firm I worked in was more like a Maltese, let's say a Maltese, I won't say it was really a Maltese environment, but because we had a few other nationalities, okay, but it was such a fantastic place to work. Oh my God, it was so nice. Like, it was a very good start. I mean, that was the first company I worked with in Malta, and it was so good. It was such a good experience. And then where I work now is more, let's say, it's more of an international firm, okay, and it is beautiful. Like, so both has been beautiful. Even my husband as well, where he works as well, it's so good, So, and a few other people that I met, they've always, I mean, it's been very good experiences, really. There's no perfect place, but I mean, so far you do your job, you deliver and all of that. I feel the world it will be good for you, basically. I like to say taxes are not as high compared to other countries. Taxes are quite low in Malta. In Malta, compared to my dear country, Nigeria, and I think in a few other countries that I know of, like Singapore, and I think even Dubai, when you work extra hours, you will not get anything. I mean, that's your luck. But in Malta, when you work extra hours, you would actually be paid. In fact, I think you will even be paid like double or I don't know, but more than your normal salary per hour. If, for example, you earn like 20 euros per hour, I think if you work, depending on the time you work, and depending if it's weekend or a public holiday, you would get like either double of that per hour, extra hour that you work, or 1.5. For every hour you work, you get paid. You're not going to be doing like free. You'll not be giving freebies by just working and working. Like in Nigeria, Jesus, you work, you close so late just because you're trying to deliver on something and you get nothing. But here in Malta, as far as I know. There might be a few companies, but I don't know. I've not heard of it before. That's what I was saying. They have a very good work-life balance in Malta. I love it. Like, you can easily manage both. Like, you're not just going to work. And there are some people that actually do work out, especially those that maybe I don't know why some people do it, but of course we have different needs and things that needs to be met. Especially, I know that there are a few people that maybe earn a little bit low, and of course they have to like work overtime, work like they don't have any breathing space. But basically, generally, there's a very good work-life balance in Malta. There are lots of public holidays, and of course there are a lot of companies that actually do this work from home thing, so I work from home. So I mean, it's really good. You feel like a boss. You don't feel like you're working. I mean, it takes away the time that you travel and the rest. So aside from working from home, even though you work in the office, like, it's always a very good family friendly environment. I remember when we moved here at first, my husband used to mention that Jesus, that here it feels so lazy, or not that they are really laid back, but compared to how you used to work back home in Nigeria, here it was as if we were just coming to play or lounge until of course it got busy. And but still, even whilst being so busy, like, there's no pressure. It feels really good. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the work-life balance basically is amazing. It is lovely. Okay, you have time for family, you have time for personal things. Not the standard leave days that every employee should have for a full-time job is around 26. Is it 26 or 27? I know they used to increase it by 1 day every year. So but I think the standard leave days is 26. Yeah, 26 leave days a year that you have to take. I mean, I remember in Nigeria, like, most times you see yourself trying to forfeit some days and the rest, but here they really encourage that you take it. But as much as possible, they don't even allow you to extend it to the next year, because they want to actually ensure that you take it within that particular year. 26 leave days, like, I have, because I work shift though, I have like almost 40 leave days. Yeah, and I actually work like 40 hours a week, so it's not as if I work like crazy hours, and that's why I have like a lot of leave days. So I think they kind of added public holidays here and there and the rest. So but then it is really awesome. You have your leave days. I think I don't know, it's like there are some places in the world where they still have like the standard leave days is still like 15. Like, oh my god, and you work full time 40 hours a week. Well, in Malta it is 26, regardless of your level. Even though you're a director or you're the most junior staff or whatever, or you're an artisan, you are entitled to 26 or I think 27 leave days a year. Aside, this is just annual leave. They have sick leave as well. I mean, there's sick leave. I don't know how many. I think sick leave is like almost more than 20 days a year. Thank God I don't used to use my sick leave. Thank you, Lord, for good health. But sick leave, of course, there's maternity leave as well. And I think there is even if you are going for like a course or education or whatever, I know there are different leave days, and you could avail yourself of. So also, just in case you have issues at your workplace or one employment problem or the other that you have concerns about, or you just even want to make inquiries, you don't have to have an issue for you to know a few things. There's an organization called DIER. Is it DIER or DIER? DIER. So this is a website. Of course, you can read up about it, what they stand for. Basically, they are trying to protect your rights as an employee, even as an employer as well. Right? I think what's the full meaning of DIER? The full meaning is Department for Industrial and Employment Relations. So Department for Industrial and Employment Relations, that's what DIER is. So basically anything that has to do with being employed in Malta, if you have any issues or concerns, or if you even just need to make inquiries about anything, just reach out to them. It's dier.gov.mt, that's the website. So obviously you can just read up on what they stand for, how they can help you. A couple of people who has had issues in the past, and they really found this particular organization useful. Okay, so here of course it talks about employment conditions, everything that you should know when you're starting a job, wages, because of course we have people who work part-time as well, full-time. Even as a part-time staff, you are entitled to leave days, so you need to know all of these. Hours of work, your leave, like I mentioned before, what you're entitled to. And if there's any breach in terms of the conditions of employment, when you get a job in Malta, please read through the contract. Read it inside out. I cannot even overemphasize this. Read it inside out. If you need the services of a legal professional, but I mean, it should be understandable. If you do not even understand a particular clause or whatever in your contract, you could even just check with your employer and they would explain to you. And even in terms of termination of employment, I mean, your employer should not be able to just wake up one day and say, you know what, you're fired. And you yourself, you cannot just wake up one morning and say, oh, I'm leaving you, I'm leaving this firm. No, it doesn't work that way. Because I mean, let's even be realistic. They run a business, there's money to be made. I mean, one person less in the team is, it would always have an impact, So even as you are thinking of leaving the employment, you should give a lot of notice. Of course, it will be in your contract in terms of how many months notice would be required. And also, even as a young person, if you have a child, because usually there are children involved in one thing or the other. It could be an advert or music or whatever it is, So you can read up on all of this here. So on here as well, I'm just even seeing this now. So there's the employment agency. So I think they are certified agencies. So just in case you are on the lookout for agencies, here you go. So, and of course, these are the list of employment agencies that, of course, so far they are here. They are very credible and authentic. Okay. So here you can check for agencies in Malta. That's quite a long list. I hope this video has been useful. Like I said, it's been awesome working in Malta. Like I do not feel like it is work. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you're working, but it's like you're not working. Like it's not, the tension is not too much. Like there's no pressure. It's relaxing. Like, oh my god, it's really beautiful. Maybe because I work from home, but even when I was working from the office, even the office environment alone, oh geez, it just it just agrees with my soul and spirit, and just makes the ambience and everything. You would even want to go to work. The wages in Malta might not be a lot compared to a few. In fact, when I hear of how much salaries are in a few other countries, I'm like, wow. Wow, what? How does one earn this? As in, I mean, well, like I mentioned, taxes, you cannot compare the tax in Malta to other countries, and you also cannot compare cost of Malta is even getting expensive these days. So, well, in terms of cost of living, it might be very, very expensive living in a few other countries. And aside tax, like I mentioned before, in the cost of living, there are a lot of other bills, taxes, and things you pay for in a few other countries. But in Malta, we really do not have so many bills and so many, extra things that need to be paid for. So, but generally, it's been nice. The salaries, like I said, they aren't great, but I mean, at the end of the day, for me personally, I'm really not a fan. I'm not driven by salary. I'm not driven by, oh, how much gets into my account at the end of the month. Yes, it's good. It's a motivating factor, but that's not what drives me as a human being, if that makes sense. Like, I just want to find job satisfaction. I want to, contribute my quota in any way possible towards the growth of any firm, or, I just want to enjoy what I actually do. So, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, when you think about work, you're not like, oh my god, not again. But you're like, wow, yes, I'm excited. I can't wait. That's it. Like, that's all I need. So, in Malta, it's really, really fun. It's amazing. Lovely environment. Nice weather, and everything good. Keep applying. If you're looking for a job, keep applying for those jobs. You would find, trust me, you would find that job. Just be persistent. Build your CV. Let your CV look really good. Let it really, when you like see someone's CV and you really do not even need to meet the person to know everything about the person, every important thing about the person. You should not start writing your life history. Oh, when were you born? What primary school did you go to? Just important details that would help any employer, like that would help any potential employer understand that, okay, these are your skills, these are your experiences, this is what you've done so far. Just explains all of that. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Bye.